The address that follows was given at Croydon Spiritualist Church on Sunday the 10th of February 1980.
God bless you, dear ones.
God bless you, Saint.
Mine once more is the privilege of having these few words with you this eventide. And once again, I do not cease to wonder how the various parts of your service link in one with the other, although decided by separate persons, that your chairman can have had in mind tonight what we proposed to speak to you about, so he could not have chosen the reading. Indeed, I am not sure that he knew he had a reading to choose. But it has nevertheless a bearing upon that simple teaching and a few words which I, on behalf of our little group, who step forward through this channel to try to help you, to guide you, to assure you of our love and presence at all times. I propose to commence my few words, and indeed to end them, with a question. Can you remember walking into a room where flowers have been placed, but afterwards removed? I'm sure most of you can. What do we find? Not the perhaps finished stems and blooms that were originally there, but the fragrance, the perfume, and thus it is with those conditions which surround you. And it is within the power of each and every one of you present tonight, if you so desire, to create roses for yourself in December. You may say roses in December, naturally. Yes, beloved, quite naturally, not forced in any way, as many of your flowers are upon the earth today. But from whence does this spring? What do we have to do to set about this? You have to do, beloved children, just what was stated in our reading. It is an inner contentment. An inner contentment. not simply a personal pleasure and enjoyment of what you are doing at the moment, but thinking and living in such a way that there is that fragrance there for you to draw upon in moments. Perhaps the most important part of this is the thinking, how you think about things. Is there bitterness, sourness, envy? These things will produce weeds that will choke any flowers that may have been attempting to come through. And may I make it clear, dear ones, that when I speak of flowers, I am thinking of those spiritual gifts of which you are possessed. You have something somewhere within you. And those human attributes, those abilities of yours, everyone is good at something. From whence came that gift? It matters not what that gift may be. What is important is that you should use it, and use it wisely, well, and in a proper fashion, thus creating spiritual nourishment for yourself. Man does not live by bread alone. But how do we do this, you may ask? Many peoples, it seems to me, forget that man's natural trend is upwards. So if you are thinking and aiming for the best that is within your capabilities, if you are looking up, you must also be able to look forward. You cannot look down. But by keeping these aims on a very good and high level, you are assuring yourself of sustenance for times of need. Look up always. You know, it is the practice of summer peoples still upon your earth plane to bury their dead, so-called, in an upright position. I wonder just why. Because man responds much of his time to natural laws that he understands not. But that response is there. All almost everyone, for one reason or another, experience a little lull in your life, when nothing very much would appear to be happening for one or another reason. Perhaps you are waiting for a certain opportunity or a certain spiritual gift to unfold, or a certain condition to leave you. But I suggest to you, dear ones, that it is at these times that you may sit down in the quietude and recapture some of the fragrance of past blossoms. I know that our teaching always is that you look up and forward, but this is perhaps the exception, when you may sit back for a few moments and allow the fragrance of what has gone before to re-energize and encourage you forward. In the perfumes which are created on your earth, cling. You can still smell perfume on a handkerchief or other garment perhaps that has been washed and cleaned, but that perfume is still there. It has been in contact with whatever that article may be. But in these moments of quietude, we hope that you find this inner content and gain a strength. Rethink for a little while. Just what did you do under a certain set of circumstances? How did you treat a certain person? What was your reaction to a given situation? There are many, many things to be gained by assimilating not only the messages that we bring you, but the philosophy. Because you will save a great deal of strength and energy in this fashion. Let us think once more of our beautiful rose, which I have likened your growth. I think we must accept that the June roses, those which come early, are usually for the young. And it is while these gifts, or roses as I have called them, it is while they are in bud stage and coming out to display all the beauty of their colour and delight you with their perfume. It is at this stage that we like to see the wise guidance surrounding that one with those developing buds of talents, gifts, capabilities. But the hands. We cannot ignore, I think, the thorns. Because there is no rose without a thorn. But it is important for each and every one of you to realize that you have got certain things within your makeup that can act as thorns. What we have to remember is that those thorns were not intended for you to use to hurt others, but to protect. If you would gather roses, are you not careful of the thorns? And if you have the valuables of the earth, do you not protect them in some way that they shall not be touched or damaged? A short while ago, I mentioned your philosophy. There is one thing, one piece of your philosophy that will be of much assistance. It is the assimilation of this fact that the thorns are there deliberately, but they are not intended to hurt. One other thing we must consider when we think of roses or blossoming gifts or faculties, however you care to think of it in your personal thinking. What must we do? What happens to roses? There comes a time, does there not, when the person who has responsibility for that garden has to accept that those roses must be cut back, and cut back very hard every so often. But the reward comes in the better blooms, that it will be yours in the long run. We know very, very well that it is not always easy to do the right thing. Not always convenient to take the trouble to deal with something that should be dealt with. But we know that if you do so, you gather the reward. You may not enjoy cutting back your roses, but it is the way to better blooms. And so it is with your own lives. You do not find everything going your way or to your satisfaction. You find the cuts and the hurts. But if you can accept these, as I said just now, you will save yourselves so much hurt, so much trouble, and so much energy if you can refrain from kicking back. And if you assimilate your philosophy, you will be able to do this. There are many peoples upon the earth, I know, who feel that they are not ones blessed with what you call green fingers. But I would here remind you that you do not need green fingers to grow a beautiful spiritual garden. Day by day, take every opportunity which presents itself to help another person, to help yourself develop into a bigger and a better person than you are now. Perfection is not expected. We know, understand, and accept that if all were perfection, you would not be upon this earth plane. And part of our work is to try to make the journey as easy for you as we can. And one of the methods we use to do this is to try to bring you first and foremost our love, and always some understanding of what is happening to you and why. So if you feel that instead of coming out in that way of blossoming forth, that you are held back, that there is something across your pathway, or you find yourself in the position of the rose bush that has been cut back, pruned, or whatever you like to call it. This is the moment for you to sit back and re-enjoy those moments of fragrance from the past. And if you have known a particularly beautiful friendship, or you have thoroughly enjoyed a good concert of music, or shared a very personal moment with someone, this is the moment when there is a lull in your life, whether it is caused by a waiting time, by illness, or even advancing years. You can sit back and re-savor that fragrance from the past. But unless you sow those seeds today, unless you plant those roses, what will happen when you just sit back? That fragrance will just not be there to drift back to. So put all you can, all the love and effort into your human relationships. And as I promised at the beginning of my little talk with you, I will leave you with a question. Because this business of the conditions that surround you, what you can sit back and enjoy from the past and so on, is entirely in your hands. We from Spirit, from time to time, are able to bring certain people the fragrance of flowers. Not perhaps flowers as it had known them upon the earth plane, but recognizable. So ask yourself, before this day shall finally draw to its close, ask yourself, if you sit back, would there be roses for you to enjoy in December? God bless you all.
God bless you.